Hello and welcome as we move into the 22nd day of February. And on Tuesday, Bitcoin closed in at 1125 US, about 1480 Canadian, a little over €1,000, up 3.75%, at least in the United States. The ratio getting very, very close to over one as far as the ratio of gold to the Bitcoin. And now the question looms, what's going to happen when it reaches this point, which isn't that far off? It's 15 units away. That's just about 1.5%. So how is this going to react? Will there be resistance? And if so, will this area be the key support? Will it be an area that just goes sideways for a little while? And if it keeps going, will it just skyrocket towards the upside? Those are answers that will be determined later on. But this is again a situation, people thinking the same thing, liquidating a little bit out. There's probably going to be some level of resistance, a little bit of less buying. But if markets don't sell off much, then people start to think, okay, wait a second here. It hasn't sold off really. I didn't want to buy at 11:30 before, but now that it's been a few days, say they're saying this next Friday or coming Friday, Saturday, yeah, I think it's good to keep playing. And next thing you know, maybe a week later, it's over 12. That's the type of ideas I would be looking towards, but we'll see how this resistance plays. As we speak, it's a pierce below this high, which is a third time test of 1100. Let's take a look at another cryptocurrency priced in Bitcoin, and it's something in which I have been going long on today, or accumulating in that phase, as it is the BELA. And this is priced in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's already kicking ass as it is, and this is just kicking more ass. As this is, by the way, this date is wrong, the dates. So let's just delete that. But this is a 2 year time frame. This goes back to 2015, about 23 or 22 months. Okay, so within this chart analysis, I've got Fibonacci retracement from this low and this high. So within it, the 161.8 mark is represented in at 5,038. So this is an area where I think resistance is probably got a good chance of being met. Now, when I look at the pattern as it plays out, the situation of this top coming back down, and then it goes sideways for a little bit, and it's broken out since, come back down to this band, has came back again, has come, and then back to this band and lifting higher. To me, it just seems like it's spelling that it's going to be breaking out. Now, if I adjust this to the price in the US index, I can put this in a line format, and this is a total amount of days. There's been over 700, so that would be, again, almost 2 years. And I'm just to make it numbers easier, this is how many pennies it takes to get one of the BELA coins, which has obviously been in this uptrend. But when we take a look at this resistance level, we can see that it's got room to come up towards here. And if we look at the levels of where you can get within volatility, you have a situation buying here at 40 and up. Well, now today well, I got the exact price just by putting this in 320. So you got like 8 times. Does this have the potential to keep running? Well, why would it stop now? I want to talk a little bit about how these things can work, because I have no idea much about this. I can only find little information on this coin, but I do see how this market has been trading well for quite some time. I don't see any reason it's going to go way down, at least at this point. But we look at the dates of which this closed at, we can see that it's got a lot of high increases, going from a buck 96 and up here to 320 during this up run. It's had a lot of these big up gain moves, which I think it could be due for one of those because it's just grinding its way higher. Of course, there's always the risk of a pullback, and a pullback can be quite big. In fact, let's take a look back again at the previous chart. We look at this at 28.33. It could pull back in here to 24, and that's a loss of 400. And I got some orders in at that price because it's a big Fibonacci number. But that would mean a loss of like 400 on that. That's like 15%. And what I've been doing, even just as far as accumulation stages, when you're day trading, what I like to do is buy low and sell high in the form of, if say the price right now is 28.33, I'll look at the bid-ask ratio spreads, and if I see it at, say, the last trade was, say we got 28.33 here, and there's a price on the other side at, say, 28.10. So what I'll do is I'll go long, or I'll put an order in for 28.11. And there's a good chance it'll get executed, so we'll assume that 28.11 gets executed. And after it does, maybe I'll put an order in to sell it at 28.40. And then once it sells, then I automatically have to buy back at a lower price. Now, the secret for how I do this is, say I'm buying, say I got orders in for a whole bunch of prices, 28.11, 28.10, I got a whole bunch of them, and I end up filling in, say, 100, I got 100 coins. Next thing you know, I'm now going to sell 60 of them and keep 40 just don't even sell them, just hold them. Or maybe with some of them, I'll put market orders to sell up here, because at this stage, it will be a lot of distribution, and accumulation is going to stop probably around 3,900 to just only day trading only. But I do think it's got the legs to move up towards here. It's definitely worth the risk. Right now, I've got in little over 32 milla bitcoins, or the value of about 37 US dollars. So it's very low, but I'm still accumulating. Not too sure what my risk is going to be. It's a very volatile market. I realize that, but with that, you got huge risk reward potentials. And this thing is, again, just going. Now, here's the deal about these situations. Let's look at how these things play out. And we'll use this chart again. So you're the starter, you're buying, you're mining them at this stage, and you're accumulating a lot. Your accumulation stage. And next thing you know, you're like, okay, I'm going to distribute them all now because I got so many units in the market, so many shares, if you will. So yeah, let's just sell this baby, and that's how these big red candle moves happen. So that's always the biggest risk, I would think, with a play like that. But I recognize that to be the case. But if that is going to be so, and looking at it best on the Bitcoin chart, I ask myself the question, well, if they did it here, then it didn't matter because it rebounded. And if they didn't do it here, then why are they going to do it now? Why won't they do it when it gets to 5,000 or 10,000 or 20,000? Or even 98,547. That's a sick number, but it's been a sick move. And that's why if you play within this, once you get to a certain level, if you get up here, you can set it up so that you can't lose. Once you're at the point that if it goes to nothing, you've already withdrew more than the total investment worth, kind of deal. That's why it's important, of course, in a situation like this to have good certainty, but I do think that Fibonacci is going to work well, and that it's got a good shot at moving up here, which is definitely worth the risk reward. I never heard of this until a couple days ago, and yet I've got, it's not that big of a bet, but still $35-40. and possibly even double than that as the day goes on. So thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye bye.